Hey, it's Flash from Outside the Box. I was on a recent episode of Accessdaily talking about squatters. I wanted to share it with you. Here it is.
With our resident legal expert, please give it up for my friend Allison Friesel. I just love when you're here.
I love it.
All right, Allison, stories about squatters are popping up all over the place at the moment. It feels like we're in the grips of squatting epidemic. What is going on with all this?
Yeah, I mean, and squatting is a major problem in this country. And as a lawyer, it pretty much infuriates me because a lot of homeowners feel like they're powerless when someone takes over their home. And it's become a real issue.
I feel like I hear story after story after story.
Correct.
What is a squatter?
Okay, so a squatter, as opposed to a holdover tenant, okay, so a squatter moves into a vacant building or a home without a legal contract, and they are not paying anything monthly, anything at all to live there.
And you can't get them out.
Well, that's what we're trying to change, but it's difficult to get them out.
Are there places in the U.S. affected more than others?
So I want to talk about one story in Florida. Okay, so this is a woman whose name is Patty Peoples. She and a partner buy a home in Jacksonville, Florida. They redo it. They make it so incredibly cute, and they're going to sell it. A handyman goes over to the house, and there are two women living in the house. Patty, and this is, by the way, courtesy of Fox Business, videos this exchange that she has with the squatters who present her what Patty claims is a fake lease agreement, a first and last rent receipt, and she cannot get them out of her home. She has to go through the eviction process. She has to hire an attorney. And by the time they finally do leave the home, the court orders it, there's $40,000 worth of damage here.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. And the police basically say to her, look, this is a civil matter. There's not much we can do. And if you try and remove them yourself, you're going to get arrested. So that is the thing that we are really trying to change, because it's crazy.
I feel so helpless on this. Is it just regular homes that are being targeted?
Oh, no. So there was a house in Beverly Hills. Is a 5,900 square foot home.
Oh, my goodness.
$4.5 million. LeBron James lives nearby. J-Lo and Ben Affleck live nearby. And allegedly squatters come into the home, throw parties, rent it out like it's a hotel, a high-priced hotel. They've got raves going, alcohol flowing, people coming in and out. They can't get these people out. By the time they finally get through the legal process of eviction, right? I mean, the homeowner has lost out on sale, rental, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
We actually have a clip of this from Los Angeles Fox 11. Let's take a look at some of the images from this story.
This property, he says, is in the hands of the state of California and the courts with a listing to sell.
I didn't lease the house to these people, and they produced a fake lease. And the police said it's a civil matter.
Have these alleged squatters been removed or stopped showing up for parties?
Right. So as of recently, they have been removed, but it pops up everywhere. I mean, once that's done, shut down,
to the other.
People move to other places.
Is there anyone out there taking up for the homeowners?
Oh my goodness, there is a guy out there, okay, and he is called the Squatter Hunter. His name is Flash, and guess what?
What?
We have him.
We've got Shelton, a.k.a. the Squatter Hunter, to our show. These stories are insane. How did this all come about for you to be the Squatter Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I was just a good son. I was just doing for my mom. My father passed away in 2019. We moved her in with me to sell her house so she could move on. And I get a report that there was a broken door, back door broken in. I did like everyone. I called the sheriff. The sheriff went out, said, I thought you said this house was vacant. There's a house full of furniture and there's nothing we could do. So I knew nothing about squatters or anything like that. I had to just learn the laws, break it down and figure out loopholes. And I figured out if they could take a house, I could take a house.
It's unbelievable. And Flash, I've known you for about a dozen years, and I didn't know I had a superhero in my midst.
Yes.
I mean, I really didn't. But my concerns, right, as an attorney, I obviously don't want anything to happen to you because of these dangerous people. And I have some practical ideas for people. Walk us through how you do this. I mean, I obviously think, you know, can you put up video cameras? What can you say to them? Can you enter on your own? Walk us through that, please.
Well, I mean, you know, safety is a huge concern of mine, and I know that I'm influencing people, and it comes with responsibility. So I make sure, you know, to just send a clear message to homeowners to be safe, never approach an intruder on your own. Call law enforcement. I never say don't call law enforcement. Let them come out, assess the situation. It's property. It's not it's not worth risking your life. But once they assess it, I'm sorry, don't call an attorney. Don't give them rights. Contact me. Let me assess the situation, figure out an alternative.
And what do you do? What are the services you provide?
So I start every situation with a Zoom consultation where I will give them 40 minutes of my time. We will break it down, simplify it for them. In many cases, I'm just giving advice and helping them solve their issue. And if it comes to hiring my guys, and we're building like a squatter hunter army across the United States, then I spend time figuring out who the squatter is. I'm looking up their background. Everything that I need to know about them, and I'm scoping it out, figuring out their routines, and then I'm waiting.
You're squatting.
I'm waiting to squat on the squatters.
Okay, tell me about that, because that's my favorite part. Was this like an out squat somebody?
Yeah. I mean,
what is it?
You know, I'm waiting, and if they're leaving, if they have a routine where they leave, then I will switch places with them. I will lock them out. I'll put cameras up. And then I'll wait for them to return. When they return, I'll explain to them how their life is about to change.
And you've gotten a legal document, right, from the owner. Can you walk the viewers through that? You've gotten a legal document that has given you a right to be in that home lawfully and take possession. Is that correct?
The very first thing I do before I do anything is I get a lease from the homeowner, making me, you know, a legal tenant, basically, so that if they have a fake lease, then I'm armed to be able to fight lease versus lease, good lease versus bad lease. Law enforcement can't remove me. The best thing that I like to hear is when law enforcement comes out and they think, great, whatever, and then law enforcement tells them it's a civil matter and there's nothing we can do.
That's the pattern.
And so
that you
just
hear
out
over and
squat
over.
them.
I just out squat them.
You're a great
Unbelievable.
squatter. How many homeowners have you helped so far?
You know, between the Zoom sessions and everything, and the U.S. and like 4 other countries, I've helped hundreds of families.
And there's a new bill. There's a squatters bill in Florida that was just signed. What is that?
Yeah, so it gives the support to homeowners that they need and deserve. And it enables law enforcement to be able to go in and act, go in and take a squatter out and arrest them if they can't prove that they have a legal right to be there, if they can't prove that they're paying rent, that they can't prove that they have a lease. It gives law enforcement the ability to decipher. Right now, in most states, law enforcement can't even ask if they have a lease.
It's baffling to me.
Unbelievable. It really is. I mean, you know, we've heard of these horrible stories where this family had a disabled child and they were prevented from getting into their own home, which I thought was just horrific. I personally know a family who couldn't get someone out, and it was a similar circumstance. So I'm so happy that there's people like you. Can you give also just practical tips? Because I don't want any homeowner going in and doing what you're doing.
Yes.
You have spent time researching, understanding, protecting yourself. What are some simple things? I was thinking, you know, it's never a great idea to have a house vacant too long, but along those lines.
You know, you can't avoid having a house vacant. For example, when a family member passes away and it's going through probate, you're not allowed to occupy that home. Mm-hmm. Squatters can, but you can't. Homeowners are not presumed the resident, and that's why they're getting arrested. So the bottom line is, the prevention that I would suggest is cameras. You can monitor them from your phone. The difference between my intruders being arrested and not was the fact that I could not document and prove when they entered the home. That's the difference. Cameras and an alarmed response. I don't care where you are in the world, you can monitor those cameras, and police can be called when an alarm goes off.
Yeah. Flash, great work. Is your real name Flash?
Since I was a kid, like everybody else.
It should be Flash Gordon, but it's Flashshelton. Great job.